Alright, well, we're here at the Great Ace Attorney time. Now we're going to new territory. Alright, boys and girls. Let's go to episode 3, The Adventure of the Runaway Room. I wonder what this is going to be. So last time we got off on the... getting off on a ship. And we decided to take on the part of lawyer. In London, I guess.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident, "I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together."
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
Is that his voice? Wow.
And look at all the steam locomotives.
I'm not used to this voice.
This country is incredible.
Well, it's a good thing that they know how to speak English.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure.
My pleasure.
I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
London. London. London. Now we just need British James in here, and we got everything. Alright, 18th of February, 9:21 a.m. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice Office. That is not the outfit you were wearing, Susato. What an incredible place. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. Looks like a fortress.
Someone doesn't get suffocated, do they? That would be ironic.
Well, I don't think there's been, at least so far of all the games I've played in Ace Attorney, that anyone has suffocated personally. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. Well, they've only been built in a few short decades since we opened the borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, don't you? Wouldn't you agree? Ow. I think I got something in my throat. A far cry from wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. It's certainly unfamiliar. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. What is this place again? This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruto-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. Lord Chief Justice, we had instructions to report here at this time if circumstances were different. We were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. But Kazuma can't. No. So instead, we're here in a different capacity, as envoys to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death. Yes. And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So we'd have to return to Japan. If we want to remain here in Great Britain, I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour. Yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer. Which is what I've been studying for. Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London. I hope I'm up to scratch. Good morning. Sorry to keep you. For keeping you. Jesus! That guy is built different. Hi. I trust that you aren't too exhausted from your long voyage from Japan. It seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Oh, no. Don't mention it. We are never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I am Mail Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. I feel like I'm a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Come on, Naruto. Don't be a mouse. Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I am Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Well, Naruhodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Ah, yes. Thank you. Oh, I get an armband now? Interesting. His name is Naruhodo? Yes, his name is actually Naruhodo. That's actually a thing, Grace. I'm not making that up.
What does that mean?
I see. That's literally what it means.
I see.
Yeah. Naruhodo ne. This is Grace.
I see. Is that like a knockoff of I Spy?
I mean, you could say it like that, yeah. Let's see. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, well, help. I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. It's simply splendid, isn't it, Naruto? Mr. Naruto. Oh. We had a wonderful viewing of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say, I'm almost lost for words. I'm glad you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, even cables supply electricity. We spearhead of every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor in London is astounded. Yes, astounded is the word. Thanks for serving me there, Susato-san. Everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor.
Are you sure this is London?
Where's the gloom and doom?
The way I've heard, like, people from England describe England as, like, not a very jolly folk.
It depends on place to place, but yeah.
At least not with strangers. Like,
Yes, there's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we will be hosting here in London. Great exhibition? Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history and will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be. Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. Even if you say so, do say so yourself. The sun will never set on our great empire. Perhaps it is fate that these are the progressive times. We welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. So, Lord Chief Justice, I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. Ah, Mr. Kazuma Asoji, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. It's amazing, the news reached him before we even arrived. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news? Yes. We are here in the capital of the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person. They tell me you Japanese are a people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that it's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of a young lawyer means the study to our arrangement can no longer proceed. If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart. What do you have to say, madam? It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal. His eyes are so blank staring. I can't. He looks like a plastic man. Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo. This is it then. The moment of truth. The thing is, Lord Strongheart. I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead. Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead, but without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. Is there something I don't know? only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country. And that was Mr. Soji. At least, that is what I've been led to understand. Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say this to this man. Mr. Naruhodo, I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I going to say? There is something else. If there is someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer, it's
Sato, obviously.
Mr. Sato. Oh, should I say it? I don't know if I should.
I mean, what's it gonna do? Like, give you a game over?
I mean, it could. Emoto, should I go for it? Emoto? She's not saying anything. Oh, there she is. I was asking you, what should I pick? Oh, we moved from a car apartment now. Should I pick Miss Susato? Or should I pick Miss Susato as his answer as someone who is described as a lawyer? Because James says he wants Miss Susato as our pick for the lawyer. I'm asking if you want to fine. Alright, we're going with Susato. It can probably only be... Yes, Miss Susato!
It's like what?
An unusual introduction, but I presume you mean this charming lady beside you. You're a lawyer, are you? That look she's giving me. After all the days of hard work she put in to help me study, I can't let her down now. I think that's quite enough joking, don't you, Lord Strongheart? My real answer is, it's me. I can do it. Is that so? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but... No qualifications, you say, and yet you still claim to be a lawyer. I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. And I had Kazuma to help me, and I was the accused, but glossing over the details. I have been spending every spare moment on the journey here in Great Britain studying. I've learned all about the British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Buria. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training. I realize it's far too short of a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Asoji's journey had only just begun. Coming here on this study tour was all he thought about, and I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance, that's all I'm asking for. Please. Please. 37 seconds. Sorry? Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo. It was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in good stead as a lawyer. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Huh? But let me ask you one thing first, sir. Yes? You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asoji planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Well, yes, that's my intention. I see. Am I imagining things? Or did his expressions just alter a fraction there for all of a sudden? Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? So, what form will the test take exactly? Tell me, Mr. Naruto, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. Huh? Your timing is perfect, in fact. There is an appointment trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as of yet, so this will be welcome news. Today? Straight away? If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you will have passed my test. What could be simpler? How did I get myself into these situations? Well, could I ask what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart? Yes, good question. I remember. Oh, it's a murder trial.
Of course.
That's the third murder trial. Third thing like that. Well, a second murder trial technically, but third murder I have to deal with. A murder?
Are there any non-murder trials in Phoenix?
Dang it, where's Carl here? Or Justin? Because I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say there's maybe non-murder trials here and there, but I don't remember much off the top of my head. An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose. That's easy to say, but I should mention just in case. If the defendant is found guilty, he will, of course, be sentenced to capital punishment. Capital punishment? He'll be put to death? Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably you read that much in your short C-based introduction to British law. We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life. I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable. But you can't do that, can you? There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is to ensure that you don't lose. So the defendant may live or die depending on how well I perform in court. If I lose, you'll be hanged. Mr. Naruto, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asoji. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. It's testing my resolve. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be?
They don't already have a lawyer for this trial that's today?
Yeah, apparently not. They don't.
What was their plan?
Guess getting him hanged. What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? I gotta do it. Alright then. If I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it. I can't get the words out. 15 seconds. Your decision making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. So, it's as I suspected, is it? Sorry? You have noble intentions but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for the passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance. Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry, Miss Susato. But what could I do? It's alright. I understand. You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. What are you trying to say, madame? You know, I just noticed something. That they're making a point about resolve. And the second game in the series is called Resolve. I find that interesting. I think what Miss Sato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially, Ichigo, resolve, would be utterly unforgivable, and I feel exactly the same way. Sure, the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. What?
What about strawberries?
No, they don't. They never. Oh, Ichigo. Oh, that's just Grace saying Ichigo saying resolve in Bleach.
Oh.
No, I was wrong. I am not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there is only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. But that's awful! But that is the truth. Why does it have to be like this? Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with a chance to save this man from a miserable end. Very miserable end. And that is you. I'm really his only hope? So, what do you say now, madame? Eh? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. And I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve. Oh. Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. Her eyelids is twitching. He's gone. The Old Bailey. So he was like an hour and like 27 minutes late. And they only had like, I'm assuming, talk for like a good 30 minutes. They had like a 2 hour, like he didn't really give them much time to do this. He really didn't. If we're going to do this, Nacho, we must leave at once. Mr. Sato, can I just ask you something? Why are you in that pose?
She getting ready to attack her.
Yeah. Careful from this position. I can perform the Susato takedown in an instant. I know. Naruto, you heard Lord Strongheart. The trial starts imminently. If I need to throw you, I will. You know, you could just say, I think we should hurry to the courtroom. If you need to ask me anything, it had better wait until we're at the Old Bailey. Looks like we're going to the Old Bailey. So, Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Now, you only give him really like... Wait. It's about 20 minutes ride. They got here before in 20 minutes. So they only gave him like a few minutes because he was so late. Jesus. What a really bad guy in time. For a guy who is very approximate with a lot of times. That was really bad. Oh, thank goodness, we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. Never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rattle loose. Did you hear that I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver. And there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from Herlock Sholmes' stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. Well, of course, making me pay extra. Yes, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all. So this is the Old Bailey, and even this room for defendants to wait in is grand. Are you alright, Mr. Naruto? Excuse me. I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. Feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Yes, whoever's the man to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. Top of the morning to ya, madam. Sir? Top of the morning to ya, madam. Sir? I would say. Oh, that guy. Yeah. What are yas doing? Oh, wait. What are you doing? You's doing here, fella? Follow me here. Things are far desperate, are they? Sorry? What are you looking at those expression faces on the Easter of yours? We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan is it? Right, we say no more. So, how much do you need? No, we're here because... No, it's explained, fella. I've been here myself, so have I. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to a name in a wild or strange faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. This grand. Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now. Haha, 1,000 guineas? Please, Mr. Sato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? This is nothing to me at all. I like to ensure there's sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I have enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. He hit me in the eye! Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you. There's no strings attached. I've been wanting to do you to do something for me. Oh, to be honest, this is a little embarrassing. The trial is about to begin, you see, and it's for me good self here. I'll be in the dock. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is, don't worry a thing. All you have to do is stand up and next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial is going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I'm terribly sorry to have asked, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Blaster in blazes! Do yous not know who I am? Me? One of the London's biggest names? I'm doing a very terrible Irish accent, by the way. No, sorry. We've just only arrived in the city, you see. I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, next to the Hyde Park, there is a central London and another beautiful park. Sorry, a park? What? It's called Beclouded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring of singing birds or whatnot. I donated to the city, so I did. An entire park in central London? A city of smilers. That's my vision of London. There is nothing goodness McGillard wouldn't do for the city and its quotable old people. It's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. But now they've all gathered to say I'm a good-nothing criminal. Me, McGoodness McGillard. What is the matter with London police, I ask ya? Alright. Don't pass out. So, Mr. Naruhodo, perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. McGillard, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put us in your hands, we do our best. What was I after saying, you daft it? I'd given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Oh yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand there next to you. Oh, I think I see what is going on here. So bad. I know what you're thinking. This chancellor fella claims to have more money than the queen. But if that's true, then why in blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did. There's only one explanation. Well, not at all. Although, it's a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean? That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry, did he just say Reaper? Aye, the Grim Reaper of Bailey, Lord Barak von Zix. He's the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? When Von Zix stands for prosecution, they called the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial which he's been in the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So, it's reached the desperate situation where there's no one willing to stand in the defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness, Lord Barak von Zix? He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. And the Chief of Justice actually knew about this. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned. His counsel and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel? That would be me. Oh, it's time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. Until you showed your face here. I made up my mind, and so had I. I made up my mind, so had I. Sorry? I decided I have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? But then you made an appearance, a student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident, I can assure you that 'tis fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. Man, this is really bad. Which card pack opening would you like, Mick? Gotta give me something, otherwise you can't just redeem that all the time. Clearly know nothing about the case or about this man who stands accused. In fact, what packs you have? Vivid Voltage and Evolving Skies. Those are the only two. So you gotta pick one of those two. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Mr. Naruhodo, the man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would never have allowed to happen. Counsel of Defense, what are you doing? If you're late to start the trial, you will lose your right to stand. Second one. The Evolving Skies is what you're saying? I'll be right there. Here we go, guys. It's happening, then. My first trial in British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm gonna manage to do this. They're going to manage this. If you want Evolving Skies, then I'm gonna do that later, Mick, because this is gonna be a non-stop story stuff for a while. Oh, there were 6 people there. This is the highest court in Great Britain, the Old Bailey. This uses the same area like they did with the Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton. Centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different than the Supreme Court in Japan. Feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes the words redundant. Whatever the country, determining or a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. May I say something nice to Naruhodo? Oh yes. What? Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, I just can't help it. Oh man, that guy is fluffy. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court is to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilton. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared. That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look like a fully prepared to dispatch the next poor victim to the underworld. Counsel of the defense, You appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English? Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready. And I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Those eyes please me. Nipponese. They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. Cold chill just ran out my spine all the way to the tips of my toes. No, Mr. McGillid. Yes, my lord? You stand accused of a murder of a capital offense. You couldn't be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner? As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young. Even if the fellow is a student from a little island off in the far east. Is it not a British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance? I'd like to think that acts of chivalry to do the great British Empire proud. Miss McGilded. What a fine gentleman London has in it. Did you hear he donated £5,000 to the government the other day? Mother, please, can we go and play Miss McGilded part? Sounds like as though everyone in public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGillett. That's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has his way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. Eloquently put, Mr. McGillett. The most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, my lord. It's tasked to send the rotters to the gallows where they belong. I'm more than ready.
At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree. Ha! Any criminals here will soon will be wishing they never set eyes on me. He's drinking in the middle of quarter.
I feel the chill.
Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I just be getting along with my knitting. We must finish these mitts, my grandson.
Yeah, Mr. Naruto. Those people are the jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet. That's right. I only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passed sentence according to law, but the jurors determined guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict? That I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Yes. Prosecutor Von Zix. My lord. It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you'd renounced your fame. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. So that brings you back. Is there some change of circumstances of which the court should be aware? I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose the day of all days to make him come back?
Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruto.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements I think are a summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. You must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. The incident took place in the late evening, 3 days past. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of the building bricks known in the community as thrice-fired mason. Sorry? Thrice?
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on streets of London at the time. The dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death.
Here is the autopsy report that the investigating medical officers of Scotland Yard.
Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence.
Autopsy report. Photograph. Oh great, we're going into this with no investigation beforehand. Talk about going in one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well.
And these are? Good lord! Is that blood, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Seized by the policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. What? Mr. Gilded's glove had blood on them?
Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well.
How did I get into this? I'm backed into a corner before I even started. Continue.
I got so used to Japanifornia's judge that, like, seeing a different one is, like, weird.
Yeah, it is, honestly. The old man, bald man. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside this vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of the passengers was the deceased brick man maker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused mechanist McGirded.
Well, rather damning circumstances to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Well, of course I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilded. But to be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I was in the carriage, I'm taken in with a first tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Little, so it does. It is. And when I opened my eyes, 'twas a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I never laid eyes before in me life. Now I ask, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. Blood got onto the gloves then after the man had been killed. Unfortunately, that statement of the drivers is only the beginning. What? That's not all of it? There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the Rickmaker was fatally stabbed.
Order! Order! Order!
When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage. There were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It is the nail in the coffin for the accused.
Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime has been made quite clear. I think we will hear the testimony from these witnesses first of all.
Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once. Oh man, I gotta hear multiple again. Witnesses, your names and occupations.
My name is Casmi Peppo. I drive the omnibus in the East End. I'm always called
Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city. My name is Lady First. I make hats for gents. Lady First? Is that his real name? God dang it. Bruce Fairplay is his name too. Also, yeah, is that supposed to be Count Dracula? I think he's basically Count Dracula. That's why I was leaving the voice. Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. What's an omnibus again? Nimoto, do you know? Or James? What's an omnibus?
Omnibus? I
Yeah.
forgot.
Also, thanks, Emden, for hydrate. Also, how you been doing, Emden? How have you been streams lately? Sorry I haven't been on in recent times. I usually been falling asleep actually pretty early on. So like when you start streaming, I usually just see you briefly and then start falling asleep, unfortunately. But how have you been streams, man? Is that correct?
According to this definition, an omnibus is the dated term which was later shortened to just bus.
Hmm.
Kind of like how we don't say automobile anymore. We
Just says mobile. Okay. Pretty good. Finished Black 2, White 2. Oh, yeah, I was thinking of that. So as my partner lost the locking it. Ouch. Well, I hope you had fun with that one. That looked actually a pretty interesting lock, nonetheless. Though I don't think any of my friends would be willing to do something like that in any time soon. Going to be doing some solo games until my senior school exams students are done in mid-November. Oh, are they done with like final? Are you guys done with final exams in Australia in like mid-November? Oh, I guess you guys start earlier. I don't know. Maybe you guys have like an earlier winter break or something. I don't know Australian like school system. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yes.
Right, Frank. Yes, sir. That's right, sir.
Very well. Then let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
Yeah, we go from January to October for classes. November is exams. December is step up. What the heck is what the heck is step up? By the way, Emoto, you better pay attention because you might need to pay, help with this as well. Oh yeah, we also didn't have Emoto explain Sherlock, like, or Sherlock Holmes, based off of Sherlock Holmes, about after end chapter 2. Especially a month of 2, 3, 4 weeks of work. Okay, so basically, you guys, the teachers, work for like 3 to 4 weeks, setting up everything for next year, but the students have those weeks off. Also, it's January to October. We'll explain later. Okay. I mean, later as in later tonight, or at another point eating. Okay. Pretty much. Okay. I guess that's technically like their summer break and stuff like that. But then again, yeah. No, yeah, your school system is weird because we don't have that kind of stuff. It's usually summer for like 3 months. And then have a bunch of breaks wherever. Still like from like September to like June in America usually.
It was the last bus of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember it well. The victim of the man accused of killing the man.
I don't even remember his Fair Play's voice anymore.
Killing a man were sit next to each other inside the bus. I'm still looking to the right for some reason. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged the knife right into his guts.
That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed, I did. Couldn't help it.
I said I heard a scream. I stopped the bus, and then I saw it too. Unambiguous testimony, I must say.
Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident of the omnibus with their own eyes. I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel?
Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Why not? Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it? As has been clearly stated from the outside, yes. Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses have possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of a moving carriage. Someone is a foreigner. You how quaint. I'd read the civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? Huh? Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus? Well, no. Thank Mick for the hydrate again. I only arrived in London this morning. No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves the actual scene of the crime, that is. What? Do you mean the actual scene? How? The carriage is designed to be moved. After all, presumably you understand that much. Yes. The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today in this very building. Here? What? The entire carriage? Bailiff. Bring forth the stricken omnibus. That's a big bus. So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. Can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing. As you can see, the omnibus is powered by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. 4 passengers seated inside the enclosed cabin and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had at the top of the omnibus. And as I pointed out to our foreign guests, there is a skylight in the roof, allowing the view of the interior from the seats above. Skylight. Oh! The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gentlemen were accompanying the rooftop seats on the omnibus when the murder took place. That's how they came to witness the grim incident. Also, I don't like how that guy keeps having his hat fall backwards. It's gonna be bothering me over and over just because how it keeps doing it through the skylight. That makes perfect sense.
Well, counsel, this is the first. In all my years behind a bench, I've never experienced the crime itself being brought into the courtroom.
Also, the guy is bald, James. He has a wig up top. It's bald. He's bald.
Bald.
Bald. There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish.
Very well. I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
Omnibus has been accepted and entered by the court record. Woo! Can't believe it. The entire crime scene entered as evidence? Yes. Great Britain is simply extraordinary. Could keep myself a lot by giving the omnibus a thorough exam. I could help myself to giving an omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here.
Let's continue with the proceedings then. Your cross-examination, counsel.
Pray don't expect these people needs to stray to understand the intricacies of the British court's cross-examination rights. Alright, my first cross-examination in a British court. Focus, Ryunosuke. Focus. Here we go, guys. Cross-examination time. Alright, so he was the bus late evening, so I had a few customers. Alright. What's this? If I saw my lawyer doing that, I would be worried. You know what? It's very true. I'm done. But I mean, okay. That would be like getting a brand new lawyer fresh out of like school or during in school, which is very scary. But I mean, I don't know, maybe that's like that ritual to get ready and psyched up. Maybe, I don't know.
Excuse me.
Oh, whoops, I didn't meant to do that. I didn't mean to press A there, because I kind of wanted to just progress the statement.
Hold it.
Yeah, I want to read this again. absolutely certain not traveling the same bus, but thoroughly no. Inside the incident that took place, no one's lightning, delighted. No other passes, no one. Okay, so nobody else was on the scene except technically all 5 of them. Why is he always cold? I mean, it's cold and everything. Yep. Can't you just warm up home? Well, I guess like he needs to that money.
Hold it!
So he started at the tip of the deck and saw the windows at his feet. Okay. Yo, Wild Wolf. Thank you for the raid, man. Raids. Wolf Raid, dude, what's up? Donkey Kong 64, dude, are you No, I wouldn't say speedrunning, but you're playing that one? That's the game I was actually trying to think about playing sometime in the near future for me. Welcome, Raiders. We're just playing some Great Ace Attorney right now for a little bit. What are you doing? I'm doing fine. Let's see. Earlier today, had a fun little Chibi Robo because I was playing Chibi Robo on the GameCube. As I was requested a game from a friend, and it was fun because we actually went through rants of like different things about like university and stuff like that, and how my friend and his wife became very salty at a tier list categorization. It was so terrible, but it was also funny to hear all those rants. But yeah, that was good. And then now we're doing this Great Ace Attorney game, which now I'm in a case where from here on out on the game, I don't know anything about because I did not play this part in like the 3DS version. So I'm trying to figure out now what's going on with this case. And right now I'm just like going through the cross-examination. Deceased Mason and Mr. McGilded. Okay, sounds good, like a good time. As for me, yes, I was good. Oh yeah, cool. How was Donkey Guy? Any ideas for a potential substick? As of right now, we're at the very beginning of it, but I have my eyes on basically the banker and the tipsy hat guy. Like basically the hat guy on the right and the banker. But then again, this is early on. We may not even see who the actual murderers are yet, kind of thing, or murderer. So who knows? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. Glad that your stream went well and everything. This guy screams evil though. I mean, to be honest, bankers are evil. To be honest, this man done. All bankers are evil. Call out. I hate Donkey Kong 64. The game has more padding than the white cell. That said, still has its moment. Donkey Kong 64 has fun ideas, but it may be like the problem with Banjo-Tooie where they added too much stuff to it, in my opinion.
It's just like a bajillion bananas and coins and...
Yeah, when I play it, I don't think I'm gonna go for 100%. It's too much. I'll just like play it as normal and beat the game as normal. The 101% is atrocious, is from what I hear.
Hold it!
Yeah, the mini games were kind of repetitive. Like it'd be like, here's the fly swatter game. Here's the fly swatter mini game again. Here's the... And there'd be like probably at least 5 instances of just like, here's a fly swatter. And you're like, okay, I've done it before.
Banjo-Tooie turned up to 11. You know, that's really bad for me to experience the game, because although Banjo-Tooie was overall enjoyable for me, I did feel like there was a lot of big open stuff and a lot too much stuff to do, and padding wise to make it feel like it's a little bit too much, in my opinion. So if that's the case, then that's just like, ugh, not looking forward to that.
Oh, I think the worst, like the most like rage-inducing. I mean, there's definitely other moments in the game that like were difficult, but I don't recall anything that pissed me off, or even anyone. Like, because I know my mom also played. But like,
Yep.
there's this part where one of the mini games, one of the reoccurring mini games that you do to get your bananas, are it's a game where you're like a little alligator and you have to chase beavers into a hole and scare them so they fall in the hole.
Jesus.
And the hole is like looks like it's like, I don't know, it's really small. And like sometimes the beavers will run up and get stuck next to the hole. So like you have to scare them so that they go like perfectly that's like right at the hole, like, and they have to be like they have to be like at the perfect trajectory and speed. Otherwise, they will just stop right next to the hole, and you fail. It's just like, whoa.
Wow, this person. So I just read this person's statement. So this person basically says that he made up his mind already while I'm still doing my cross-examination on the first stuff. And he says that he made up because he doesn't like anybody rich. He doesn't like the sticking rich. So he just basically called this guy guilty in his vote anyway. Also, they throw fire in there. That's interesting. What the? Okay, so what's going on? Let's see. Oh, yes, it seems that how the members of the jury should give their verdicts. With fire? Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one, each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago. So if those emerged scales fall completely in black side, does that mean... Let's do our best to make sure that doesn't happen. Also, I just realized they should have an odd number of jurors, because if there's 6 jurors, that means 3 of them... 3 if we get tie. So that'll be an unbalanced scales. Like, that's not how this system should work. Most of the padding is switched between 4 different Kongs just to collect everything in one specific part of the map. Literally one single corner of the map can have things meant for 4 different Kongs, requiring multiple swaps just to get a few things. Jesus, that's gonna be so annoying if I play it like that. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to that. Now I'm even more worried than I was before. Very well, the court acknowledges a change in the jury's stance. Counsel of the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. Start on the dang beetle race.
Hold it!
Fellow and stabbed. All right. In the later stages, I would say that you're required to swap out the Kongs minimum of 20 times, and that's if you're being efficient. Jesus! 20 times? That's annoying. Also, you're right, Mdem, that I didn't see your, I don't think I commented on your, oh no, actually I think I did comment. It's like, yeah, a lot of people scream, like that banker screams evil though, but we'll see. Let's see, Dubious and McDina telling the truth. Let's see. Alright. When story progress happens, I will do the voices again, but when it comes to cross-examinations, I would just leave it as is. Just to progress faster. Mr. First. Okay, so I got the knife. Okay, so that's the blade. And padding more than a white cell. Well, it's just one of those things that Rare made that decided to go a little too much into. So letter M, really? Wouldn't the initials be MM though?
Objection!
Did you say objection?
Objection!
Or something belongs to accused, okay. Like James. Loved it and gave massive scores, praising it one of the best games. Yeah, this is why I say, Wolf, that a lot of games people praise is from that era. Some of that, and like, it's fine. People think it's classics, but there's a lot of things like, if you compare it to modern day times, it starts some games do not age well, like very much not well. And a lot of N64 games don't age well.
There's a lot of games that were just... I think there's also just a lot of games that were just, like, atrocious. So, like, it's sometimes some things just look good in comparison.
Yep.
Like, if you just look at just the sheer amount of games in existence that are just, like, kind of money grabs.
What's sacrosanct? I don't know that word actually.
Sacrosanct. I don't know. I know sacro, which is the sanctifying. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Say, look like I'm.
Looks like I got 3 people guilty.
Regarded as too important or valuable to be interfered with. Or the example given here is the individual's right to work has been upheld as sacrosanct.
Mm-hmm. I'm now in position. So it basically means that if all the jurors say black, that means I lose. It's 4 out of 6 jury members who proposed a guilty verdict. There's only 2 left. Had it. Every time I press the witness for more information, it just makes the situation worse. But we got more evidence, though. Nonetheless, we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark. Also, I just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may fly. We must not give up hope, or that will uncover something that will give us a way to fight back. Okay. But alright, I'll keep trying. Can't give up. Just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements again. I want to look at this. So this is the parting sheath. All right. Large katana. It's costing him a soul. All right, he's saying it's the blade that he has is a soul. Alright, so let's see. I was just like, there's something has to be on this blade, right? There's something about this M that doesn't look right.
You gotta set a mini when you need to.
It's Wombo.
Wombo. Patrick, I don't think it's real.
I mean, the thing is, it's just like that M is just written weirdly.
Wombo.
I Wombo, he Wombo.
He, she, we Wombo.
Wombology? This.
Wombo? It's first grade, SpongeBob.
Hmm. Alright, so there's nothing on that. What about this carriage? Looks like I gotta examine a lot of things. Okay, so like, alright. Is there anything else? Cold City, perhaps. By the way, Emoto, how are you doing right now? Oh my god, that says Phoenix Wright Omnibus on here. Did they really just do that? So what do you think? How much time? How much longer do you got? Because it's almost midnight. Way too much time. The Donkey Kong arcade is what I heard was really tough, though. Isn't that like France? Oh, the London Crystal Tower. All right. So it's a storage compartment. All right. All right, let's see. Is there anything else I can examine? Oh, that notice of the Great Exhibition or whatever. Gotta examine, make sure I examine everything. Because we don't know what would be used and what won't be used.
You investigate the skyline?
Let me see if I can. I think that was the skylight investigation though. Oh no. Alright, so we can investigate the skylight. Yeah, I think that's everything in terms of the carriage, unless there's something inside I'm missing. Wait, what's this? Internal. Oh, okay, it was stabbed. Gotta press you then, because I don't see anything else. Wait a minute. This doesn't make any sense, though. Oh boy.
As a matter of London, get caution the idea of murder can be.
Juror number 5 looks like a me.
Yeah.
Myself. I've had enough now. The horse has been bolted, as I say.
There is something wrong with that statement, I have to say. There's something wrong with that statement, and I have to say it's because he saw the man. Madame, juror number 6.
Yes, dear. What can I do for you?
You have heard the rest of the testimonies of the witnesses to the stand.
Oh, yes. I certainly have still got my hearing, you know.
Then pray tell why you are you yet to pronounce your name.
Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, see me. I always go to the park at this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. There's a lovely little park, and it's near where I live, McGillett Park it's called. The gentleman donated to the city, you know. It put a smile on my landlord's faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life.
He's always doing wonderful things in the city. That's right, a man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely. Well, there, maybe we go to McGillett Public Library later and borrow some more books. How many Londoners have their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? What kind of man McGinnis McGilded really is? What kind of man is he? The philanthropist McGinnis McGillett has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all that wealth come from? Their client is Shylock, sir, and one with the very darkest of souls. What?
Story clouds.
Proud. McGill lends money to extraordinary rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak.
I've never heard of a mini mention of that before.
Their faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in his entirety not have a carriage of his own? Also, okay, I have to say this. This guy is already breaking a lot of virtues by trying to convince a juror in his biased way of prosecuting. You should not do that in any way. Also, this is not relevant to the case, in a sense. What possible reason could this man have had make the use of a public omnibus service? You're not saying that the victim, a poor brickman, the kicker, had next to nothing to his name, save considerable financial liability. It will come to no surprise that his creditor was the accused McGuinness McGirded. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment debt for his debts. Good gracious! The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, his pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from his life. He owned his life. What was it saying? It was taken from him, his life. Oh, yeah. By merciless philanthropist pretender McGuinness McGilded. Don't believe it! If I might add something briefly, Mr. Sato. You claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded, but where is the evidence to support your claim? Drinking wine. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollowed chalice in the court of law. Aha! There it is! Lord Von Zix's hollowed chalice. How can this be considered acceptable? How could you consider being a sword in the court acceptable? But I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I had heard the ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself. As a judicial assistant in the defense, I am simply doing my job. What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside. Oh. Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast of the Ignacvic East at the same time.
Marvelous toast, Counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence. Oh yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum.
Let me look at this really quickly. A lot apart from the great detective. Alright, so there's probably not a gentleman at all. Let's see, after all. Well off. Bruce Fairplay. What does that mean? The banker. Why is he in here? You know, M. Dunn? I think you might be onto something. He owns 20 guineas and that's about to expire soon. And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense.
Well, it would seem I've had a wool pull over my eyes.
Regrettably, madame, that this is the modus operandi of the accused.
And it's such a pretty little park, too. Pretty little. What a scoundrel. Still, maybe it's all for the best.
Wait a minute. Let's think about this a little before.
I don't stand for nonsense.
That was it. The last juror's decision. According to this Encyclopedia of British Law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and all presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here. The final verdict. It's over then. Oh. There is a footnote, though. A footnote? However, the defense...
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in the case.
Call bull crap on this. There's something wrong with this. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and you pressed too fast. My script. Allow me to convey the respect to the righteous decision.
According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there is no objections?
Mr. Sato, just tell me one thing. No? Yes? You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote on the Encyclopedia of British Law. However, the defense... What did it say next? Oh, yes. Of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the proceedings judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. And the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point. Summation examination?
Objection!
A summation examination. From which century has that tomb you have here been resurrected? Huh? Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck. Oh. What even is it, Mr. Sato? The so-called summation examination. Oh, one moment. I'll read about it. I thought you learned about this. You would demand the right to press up to a procedure before you even understand what it entails. Typical Nipponese. Alright, Mr. Naruhodo. I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury. To do what exactly? Appeal to them to change their leaning and reserve their decision. And it says here that if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed. Make them reverse their decisions.
Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use the summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision, but the proceedings became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really, so it rather fell out of use.
I wonder why.
because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age. Emoto, you still there?
Still, I don't see any mention of a procedure actually being formally revoked.
What are you suggesting?
I am suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. What do you think, Mr. Naruto?
Summation examination, our last possible option. Do I assert the right to carry out or admit defeat? I mean, we have only one way to continue this game anyway. The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standard of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried.
Objection!
But if it's our right, it's our right. I believe it could be proved vital in this trial.
The defense petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination.
This is madness.
Alderman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready?
Well, there was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see, so...
All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision.
On what grounds?
You must testify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty.
Well, my lord, you're rather putting us in a spot, just on the spot.
This is most heretical. Not to mention, was made of this. No mention was made of this before.
I don't really hold with all of this justifying work. Seems to have thrown the jurors off.
Seems none of them have experienced this before.
Alright then, summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we're looking for to turn this trial around. Emoto, are you still there?
So be it then. Ladies and gentlemen of jury, the court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant McGinnis McGillett guilty of this most serious crime.
Well, that was a thing. But I'm gonna make another save slot. But with that, I think we're gonna continue on this game another time because apparently Emoto is not even here to respond. I'm guessing she fell asleep. I've been moving around mostly. Oh yeah, that was gonna ask because like if you're still there or not, but figured that you're either asleep or getting ready for bed because I think that was a good moment before we hit here the judicial summary what we're gonna do. So yeah, next, and also it says part 2, which means there's the trial. Well, I guess like the trial is part 2 because the investigation is part 1. It says in the first episode. Well, that means next week we'll be coming back to see the judicial and see if we can change the opinions of the 6 jurors, which honestly, some of them are pretty biased in a lot of ways. very, very biased, I have to say. Emoto, don't forget, you still have to explain Sherlock Holmes because you haven't done that yet. Still waiting on that whole response in that regard, but we can save that for later. Just remember, maybe we try to do it like maybe next week, or I don't know. Maybe next week? No, we can't do it next week because I have Jackbox night next week. It's gonna be another night, yeah. So it's gonna be like maybe it's gonna be like half at the end of October, right before Halloween. Killed by Jackbox. Well, it's gonna be taking a break because next week is Jackbox night. What a way to go. I mean, wouldn't you want to be killed by Jackbox? And then Mario Kart, where Kyle would be? Should I hydrate? Nope. I would be. Jackbox is fun though, especially with rap battles, and then, well, maybe not Trivia Murder Party because that's hard, and I'll die a lot of times. Well, next game on the list tonight is gonna be Eternal Darkness as we switch over. Hold on, I need to double check on things. Let's go. Also, I should mention, Emoto, that Luigi Fire said hi to future Emoto during Resident Evil 4, which you will never see, because like it was like saying hi, future Emoto, which is unfortunate. Don't worry, Mike saw it for you. This Sherlock is over top and eccentric, not caring what others think of him, as he is too busy laughing at his own brilliance, and comparable to lack of understanding of others, such as in his first case, case 2, everything he initially deducted correct, but everyone presumed he was crazy. Yeah, that was the thing. Like that Sherlock Holmes was like, his deductions in a lot of cases were correct in a lot of cases, because like he sounded like he was putting a lot of blame on Naruhodo, but he wasn't exactly putting it on Naruhodo. He was more like making a statement that Naruhodo was in trouble, and he was telling him statements of ideas. I'm gonna still say Sherlock still, nonetheless. It's just easier at this point for me, unless it's typed out later. But yeah, I think over top eccentric and not caring what he's not caring what he thinks is, from what I've seen in some media, is still Sherlock, but the over top exaggerated emotions that he showcased is definitely more exaggerated than I have seen in any other media, is what I've seen. So yeah, so like, in a sense, do you say this is accurate enough to portray Sherlock, or do you still have some ifs about it? I mean, we still have yet to see everything about it. I mean, he did get serious at the end when he started giving more of the statement of there's something more to the story than they initially said, that she was just a partnered Runaway. I think British Sherlock gets seem dramatic with his emotions, though. I don't know. I've never seen much of a Sherlock, though. That's the problem. I mean, we're only basing this on one case, Justin. We haven't seen the rest of the cases, and so we're just only doing this as first initial stuff. So I can't really have much of, like, outside of, I mean, I know we're gonna see more of him, but we haven't seen him yet. That's why I'm asking, like, Emoto, is this accurate so far? Oh no, Justin is like basically calling us out, saying that we're judging him based on one case, which is what we're doing, because I just want to know what if to Emoto is basically saying, is this right? Is this so far right? What I've seen. Okay, yeah. It's not slightly leading. I was asking Emoto literally like if it was accurate enough so far. So accurate enough for what you've seen. Which is really different, because when you first saw Sherlock, it was definitely you weren't very liking him at first. So definitely your first impressions have changed. British. Emoto's typing something. I'm just waiting for that. But the story is going good. Let's see. So far, the third case, there's a lot of stuff in the third case that yet to find out. I'm trying to think. Well, that's just the game, not exactly asking you to judge every single question, I think. And besides, I still haven't finished the game yet. Alright, thanks Grace for the lurk. Hope you have a good rest of your night, and also have fun streaming. I'll catch it when you go live. Also, I think you're going to be polling child, I'm assuming, right? Let's see. There are several different portrayals, and I'm more used to the more serious one. Oh, yeah. That's also true, yeah. I have no polls left after trying Kokami. Ooh. Yeah, I was gonna actually poll for child, but then Biz last night said don't poll for child and save it for the next banner. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have all my primo gems and gems still going, I guess. I don't even know what that who Ito is. I don't. Say for Ito, I don't know who Ito is. Let's go by whoever got that stuff. It'd be easier to share parties you used. I don't even understand what that means. Again, I don't play Genshin for a lot of things, and I only been doing dailies outside of the normal story progress and just to get primo gems. I really don't do much outside of that. The exception narrative for Sherlock is rarer from what I've seen in general. Okay, so yeah, it's still same thing as Sherlock, just it's more exaggerated, I would say. Well, not exaggerated, it's more eccentric, yeah. It's more eccentric. Alright, it's the eccentric narrative for that is rare. Okay, so it's more eccentric. Okay, never mind. So he's more eccentric, more well, not emotional, but more vibrant in his emotions for sure. So yeah, but so far he is definitely same Sherlock, and as long as we continue the story, we'll see more of him. I don't know. I don't know how he's gonna. If he's gonna be. Maybe he's gonna be appearing in this third case, but I kind of doubt it because this case seems gonna be a two-parter, but I don't think we're gonna have a investigation part. So I don't know if Sherlock is even gonna be a part of this whole case. Maybe he's gonna be a part of the fourth case onward, but not a part of this one is what I'm guessing. It's very much understandable, dear fellow. Bold of you to assume he's not on drugs. I think a drug addict version is better known for the eccentric one. Also, that's Ito. I don't really care for Ito unless he's really good on stats, I guess. Doesn't look that great. I don't even know who he is, really. I've seen the arts of him, but I'm just like, His design is not for me, for sure. Honestly, his design is like the male version of the female on this current banner. The one with a very long name, and I can't remember how to pronounce it. Starts with an N kind of thing. He looks like the female version of her, honestly. Maybe like the brother or something like that. It looks like they're related in some way. As a primary portrayal, I meant. Okay, so primary portrayal, yeah. But yeah, Imoto, we'll see more Sherlock or Herlock, depending on what you want to say, in the whole thing. Also, Grace is like, bruh. I see the bruh. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't like his design as much. Niguin, yeah. Korn. But yeah. Well, Imoto, thanks for joining. Next session will probably be 2 weeks from now, so rest up and I'll catch you later. Have a good night, Imoto. As you should leave before Grace and Justin starts roasting me on Genshin, which I don't really care about because I don't really care about Genshin as much as they do. Again, I'm only doing Genshin because it's just like the gacha pulse is funny. I mean, I got the kitty cat one. What was her name? Dion? I think it's Diona, the cat person, and Grace is like, oh, kitty cat. They look kind of alike with the red hair and everything. They look related. I showed Grace that, and she was just like, oh, I want her. It's like, I mean, she was from I pulled her from the normal banner. Grace, so you have a chance to get her. I mean, he has more white hair. The Ito has more white hair than red hair. It's like he has the same thing, like little ticks on red hair at the end, which basically she has a little tick, like she has a like strain of red hair, yes, but still she has a little bit of red, and he has a little bit of red, and they basically use the looks like the same element. So yeah, it looks like the male version of her. Need. I mean, I have enough gems to literally do a pity poll if needed, or if I want to, or if I need it. Yeah, if I need it. I said like he's like the male version of her, which could be interpreted in many different ways. To me, it looks like the male version. There's been various different male versions that are vastly different from female versions. I've seen quite a few. And they're very different. Gotta change it. Maybe I should get that button key that can just copy paste what I want with as like a separate thing. Redeem posture. I'll go worst posture now. Thanks, Grace.